Hello friend, my name is Kiri and today we're going to be talking about Ouran High School Host Club, which is the best shoujo I have ever watched. Released in 2006 by Funimation, Ouran High School Host Club tells the story of Haruhi Fujioka, a middle-class student that earns a full scholarship to the prestigious Ouran Academy, which is a school for the rich and famous. When she's trying to find a quiet place to study, Haruhi encounters the host club, and as the name implies, the host club consists of very beautiful boys entertaining paying ladies with lavish parties or just simple conversation and tea. When she breaks an 8 million yen vase, she is then taken in as the club's cross-dressing host, but no one knows she's a girl. So let's talk about the opening, which is actually one of the only openings I can sit through between every single episode. If you follow me on Twitter, you may have known that I was sick for a few days sometime this month or last month, depending on when this gets uploaded. And one of those days I just kind of laid down on the couch and watched the entire series. And let me tell you what, I made sure to watch the opening every single The song is titled Sakura Kiss, which is performed by Christine Sa for the English version, and it is a very upbeat, lighthearted song that it accurately represented the nature of the anime. And I have the same thing to say for the video. We get to see each character's personality shine through, and the fast-paced, humorous opening gives you insight to the anime's atmosphere. While the opening made me feel all happy and giddy, the ending actually didn't. The ending made me feel a little sad. That's kind of weird because it's not a sad or depressing song. It's not necessarily upbeat, but it's kind of like right there in the middle. Anyways, the song is performed by Justin Houston for the English version and is titled Sprint. It's not really the most interesting video, and towards the end the song kind of gets a little awkward because Justin's trying to hit these high notes that are harder to reach and he still nails them, but it still comes off as kind of weird sounding. And you guys already know how I feel about stills, so we're not going to spend a whole lot of time analyzing an ending that's just a bunch of pictures. This show is a hilarious rom-com that leans heavily more towards the comedy than it does the romance, which I will get to later. But the reason I'm reviewing another anime that I've already seen is because I wanted to give you guys an example of what I feel is acceptable fan service, because there were a few people that were a little confused when I started saying that there's a time and a place for fan service, especially with my No Game No Life review where I fucking ripped into it. But Ouran High School Host Club is the perfect example of an anime where fan service is 100% acceptable and actually makes sense to be there, because the base plot of the story relies around fan service, or revolves around fan service. Ugh. This is a series about beautiful boys entertaining their female peers. That is what the story is. That is what a host club is. A host club is fan service. But what makes it even better is that the anime does this all in a very self-aware, tongue-in-cheek manner, where the writers would even put in some jokes, poking at the nature of the show with usually a disinterested, witty jab from Haruhi, or a pop-up that was just kind of making fun of what's going on. And while I can't say there was really any character development to mention, I can say that this was a perfectly blended cast. Tamaki is the dumb, handsome prince. Mori is the strong, silent type. Gyoya is the enigmatic, serious character. Haruhi is an average bookworm. Honey is the adorable Shota. Renge is the stereotypical otaku, and the Hitachin twins are the handsome and mischievous twins. They also touch on some more taboo topics, such as Haruhi's dad being a transvestite, the very obvious lesbian nature of Lobelia Academy, and incest. And they do it in a way where they don't try to put it down or they don't try to demonize it. I mean, other than the general outlandish behavior of the cast, when it came to these topics, they really were just showing you, hey, you can be a transvestite or you can be gay and be totally normal. Surprise! So back to the comedy slash romance. If there's anything Ouran High School Host Club is known for, it's for being funny. It has some dirty humor, it has some clean humor, and it has witty lines written in seamlessly enough to where they still make me laugh even though I've watched it like 10 times already. None of the humor ever felt forced to me. It always felt very organic. It felt like it belonged there. But what did feel forced though was the romance. I'm sorry, but the Haruhi and Tamaki relationship thing just never sat right with me. It just never made sense that these two people who have absolutely nothing in common would be like the major chip of the series. And I know the whole like opposites attract thing, but I mean, really they had a few funny moments, but that was it. There was nothing with these characters that ever felt like they could be a legitimate couple. And I know it wasn't really confirmed in the anime as like the official couple, but they heavily imply this. And it was really just kind of annoying because most of the host club treated Haruhi like a novelty anyways. Like, I'm sorry, but I was always a Kyoya and Haruhi shipper. I have no idea why this was so difficult for me, but it took me so long to be able to find the words to talk about the visuals. I mean, I spent like 4 days just opening up the script, looking at the visuals part, and then closing it. So let me start off by saying that this is sort of like a hybrid between normal anime and your typical shoujo style art. The anatomy is pretty exaggerated with everyone having very elongated limbs, but it's not done horrendously like Nana, which I should have a review for up soon. Anyways, yeah, they are freakishly tall and they are very elongated, but they still have shape. They don't look like sticks, they look actually like people, just very tall people. That aside, they do like to bounce back and forth between the anime shoujo style and chibi, because they did like to emphasize on whatever funny moment was happening by giving the characters a funny expression or just making them look kind of silly, which, yeah, did make the scene a little funnier. Outside of that though, this is a very pretty anime. Everything is aesthetically pleasing with attention to detail in clothing and the hair and lovely character designs. The world design is gorgeous as well, with the backgrounds being vibrant and detailed, but they aren't distracting or take away from what the characters are doing. And everything is colorful. This is a very bright and colorful anime where everything pops out at you and it's just so pretty. And this is all complemented by very high quality animation. Nothing was jumpy or awkward, everything moved very smooth and everything was very fluid. All in all, I absolutely positively adore Ouran High School Host Club. And for some ungodly reason, this was the most difficult review I have ever done so far in the this is August? 8 months that I've been doing reviews. I just wanted to be able to say, this anime is perfect, go watch it! But that's not really acceptable for a full review, is it? But yeah, it's great. The soundtrack is fantastic, the voice acting is stellar, my AC just kicked on, so you can probably hear the mic picking it up. Oops. And then there was all that stuff I just spent like 15 minutes telling you about. Like, really, this anime is great! Anyways, those are my thoughts on Ouran High School Host Club. Have you seen it? What are your thoughts on the Tamaki and Haruhi shipping? Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, you can find all of my social media and my Patreon in the description. Happy unbirthday, and I'll see you later. Bye! That they were a little too average and they weren't really all that rememberable, but at the same time, that's kind of what I like about Japanese media, so that didn't bother me. My complaints, the characters were introduced to the series as middle schoolers, but in all actuality, they felt more like they were about to graduate high school. With the way that they carried themselves, the way that they acted, their mannerisms, the way they talked, it really just felt like they